also present. Mr. Austin, you're still under oath. Mr. Levine.
Yes, just a couple of questions, Your Honor, before we play the second tape. Mr. Austin, you heard that tape recording of the session, the proffer session between you and your attorney and Ms. Silverman, Ms. Stagel, and I think one of the police officers present as well. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Did it appear to accurately reflect, to the best of your recollection, what occurred on that day, the questions, the answers, and so forth?
Yes, sir.
And there were a couple of times when you met with your attorney outside the presence of everyone else, in other words, in private?
Yes, sir.
And you had a conversation with him and then came back outside and finished the proffer session, correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, is it true that the second session was actually 2 days after the first one? Do you remember that?
Yes.
Refresh your memory, the date says one November 18th and one November 20th.
Yes, sir.
You were in custody during those 2 days, obviously, as you are now.
Yes, sir.
Were you able to meet with your attorney, Mr. Aval, between the first proffer session and the second?
No, I was picked up and taken to the second proffer session. We met there.
I'm sorry. Were you able to meet with him before the start of the second proffer session in private?
Yes, sir.
And you discussed with him what was going to happen and whatever else you discussed with him about the upcoming proffer session, correct?
We had a discussion.
And he talked to you about the contents of the proffer session, first one and second one, and what he expected from you?
Objection sustained. And hearsay.
As to the last part, sustained.
Did he discuss with you what was going to occur at the next proffer session?
We had a discussion, same as the first one.
Same before the first one?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you, Your Honor. If we could play the...
Before you do that, let's mark some items. Is this, let me inquire, if the second session is still part of 632?
Yeah. Your Honor's audio is still on that thumb drive.
Very good, so that remains. And the transcript was marked as 634?
Yes, that's right.
Thank you. So marked.
I'm good at repeating when I
And again, the same admonition, as always, applies to this transcript.
Thank you.
Okay, it's 10:56 on the morning of Wednesday, November 20th. We're back at Robbery and Homicide Division this morning for part 2 of our Proffer interview with Mr. Christopher Austin, along with his attorney, Simon Aval, Detective Josh Byers, Detective Corey Farrell, VA Heather Stagel, myself, Beth Silverman. It's being recorded and transcribed by a DA employee, Sarah Mahan, and our paralegal Eileen Romero. And I want to start with, yesterday we had you sign a proffer agreement. I basically, it's the same proffer agreement that mentions that it's going to be held on the morning of November 18th, and of course this is November 20th, part 2, but on it says part 2. Did you have an opportunity to review all of this with your lawyer and sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you have any questions of me or your lawyer that you want to discuss at this time regarding your proffer, the second half of your proffer today?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So I'm going to just jump around today and try and get some things clarified. Let's start with some photographs. I think yesterday we marked through 18. I'm going to show you now Exhibit 19. Do you recognize the 3 individuals in this photograph?
You said yesterday, you mean the last 2 days ago.
Sorry, yes.
Yes.
It's been a little bit of a blur to see who's on the top. Do you recognize the 3 people there in Exhibit 19?
Yes, I do.
Can you tell me who those people are?
Robert Baker, Monica, and Mr. Birdsong.
Okay. You, Mr. Birdsong, he's the guy you all know as?
Alfred Birdsong.
Okay. And then, you also told us yesterday that initially the hit on Fabio Sementilli, the victim in this case, was supposed to take place the same night that you came into town, which was January 22nd, and that Baker drove you to some location. What type of location was that again?
It was like a shopping center, like a food mart, and food nails.
And they
It was like a L-shaped food mart area.
like a strip mall?
Like a strip mall, thank you.
When you say nails, you mean like a nail salon?
Nail salon, yes.
And you were supposed to wait for a particular car while you were at that location. Were you waiting with Baker somewhere?
Yes.
Where?
On the other side, in like a back. So it was like a back parking lot area. He wanted me to get out. He told me what to look. He told me that told me what he was driving via Monica and to look for it. And I
What
went
do you
out.
mean via Monica?
Monica told him that it's my understanding.
Now, I don't want to know what you're understanding. I want to know actual words. Let's stick with what he actually told you.
She's going to send him to the store. And she's going to send him to the store. And we can get him there.
And when you say she, you mean Monica?
Yes.
So Baker told you that Monica told him what Fabio would be driving,
Yes.
and that she was going to send him to the store so that he could be murdered.
Yes.
And at that point, had you and Baker already gone to the Walmart where I believe you told us 2 days ago that you purchased 2 knives, correct?
Yes.
One being that folding knife, and the other being the hunting knife that you told us you used to stab Fabio on the 23rd.
Yes.
And were you waiting inside a location or a vehicle, or were you just out on the street?
I was in the vehicle, and then I got out.
And when did you get out?
When he got a text that it should be there,
How do you know he got his text?
he told me.
What did he, being Baker, say about the text?
He said that he should be there. Go look.
And did he tell you who he got a text from?
Mom.
Okay. So were you waiting in Baker's vehicle at that point?
Mm-hmm.
Is that yes?
Yes.
What kind of vehicle?
I think it was rental we took.
This would be the 22nd.
I believe we took the rental.
You think it was the rental that night? Are you guessing, or do you have a clear recollection?
I'm trying to think.
Because I don't want you to guess. If you're sure, then you can tell us. If you're not sure, you can say that too.
I'm thinking.
Okay, we'll come back to that while you think, in the back of your mind. Showing you Exhibit 20, do you recognize this location?
I did.
What is this location?
That is where Mr. Baker was living at the time.
This is where Robert Baker was living?
Mhm.
Is this the parking garage?
Yes.
Do you recognize any vehicles in this picture?
Yes.
Which vehicles do you recognize?
I recognize the black Expedition and a red Mustang.
And did both of those vehicles belong to Baker?
Yes.
Were you told, you told us yesterday to look for a dark black or blue pickup that the victim was going to be driving. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead, if you want. Just a refresh, can we? Okay, can you tell us, like, I know we talked about it yesterday, but can you go through just kind of like when you got to the parking lot, like, step by step of being remember, and then we can maybe ask Is that okay? Because I'm just trying to remember some details. Like, what you remember, that you got to the parking lot, and if you can just tell us what happened, like what you remember. You went, how Baker told you to go there, when you got there, what you saw, what you did, and then she can ask you the details of it. Is that okay? Just go step by step. Yeah.
It was pretty late, so
How late?
maybe 9 or so.
Okay.
There wasn't a lot of cars in the parking lot.
Okay.
And when we got to that back area, he told me to look for it, and he showed me a picture.
Baker?
Yes.
On his phone?
Yes.
Or printed out?
On his phone.
Yeah.
And then there was not really.
Okay. What do you mean by not really?
He told me that he described him to me, tried to get me to imagine what he looked like, but I was like,
Well, let me ask you, previous to this date, you had been to the Sementilli home with Baker.
yes.
Did you see family photos all over the house when you were there?
No.
Okay.
There were steps. Told me that we walked through he sent me out, told me what to look for, and then I walked down, and I remember steps, and there were like little pillars, and I was just kind of like, wait and look. I remember him coming out of the food spot.
Who?
Mr.
The victim?
The victim.
Was coming out of the food spot? What does that mean?
Whatever restaurant,
Out of the store?
out of the store, whatever restaurant it was, he was coming out, and
Do you remember the name of any of the restaurants and stores in that strip mall?
I would have to see it to remember.
Do you remember any cross streets?
No.
So how would we know to bring you in somewhere if you don't know?
I was told when he went there, it was close to his house.
Okay. By who?
Baker.
Okay, go ahead.
And then I saw him, and I said, well, we can't do it. And I went back.
Where were you?
I was like walking in the breezeway of our village
And where was Baker?
in the car.
And where was he parked?
In like a back area,
Like a parking
like
lot?
a parking lot area.
Did you ever get close to him when he saw you? And was there a reason that you changed your mind at that point?
I do.
And so you went back into the car and said to Baker, I can't do it?
Mhm.
Is that yes?
Yeah.
And Baker said,
Don't worry about it.
and did Baker say, don't worry, we'll handle this later or
Yeah.
tomorrow or
No, he
anything else?
just said, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And then we went back to his path. And in my mind, I was like, done.
So when you got back in the car with Baker, do you know, did he see or hear, or did he tell you, did he communicate with Monica after that?
Yeah, we started texting, and I assumed it was Monica.
Why do you assume that?
Because he didn't really move until he got a text or some type of call from her.
Move the car.
Huh?
He didn't move the car?
No, just move in general, like planning and things like that, just moving forward with anything. He didn't do anything until he got any information, to my knowledge.
Did he say anything or mention anything about Monica, like I gotta let Monica know, or let me text Monica, or
He said, I'll figure it out. He said, I'll figure it out.
did he mention anything about Monica at that time?
That night,
Yes. When you came back to the car and said, I can't do it, and he started texting. Because you said you assumed he was texting with Monica, so my question is, why did you assume that?
because of the reason we went there, he got the text from her.
Did he mention anything about Monica at that point after?
No.
So like you went, I guess what we're getting at is, you went there believing that Monica was kind of behind this, directing it, right?
Yeah.
And then it didn't happen.
Yeah.
So logically, Baker would be reporting back to her, but it didn't happen, and there would be a new plan. Do you know anything about that?
No.
Okay. But you didn't hear her call her, and you didn't get on the phone with her as far as you heard?
No.
Did he tell you that he talked to her at all, like he communicated about it didn't happen?
When we got back to his pad, he said, I'll let her know.
Okay. And you knew that
Yeah.
happened that long?
Yeah. And in my mind at that time, I was like, cool.
Okay.
It's not going to happen. I'm going to go back. I'm not going to do this.
Did Baker seem upset with you?
A little, but not really.
And when you said, I'll let her know, did you ever hear him like actually call her?
No.
Did he ever tell you that he ended up talking to her and did let her know? Did he tell you what happened or what she said or anything that happened after that?
No.
Okay. So he just said, I'll let her know, and that was it for the night?
That was it. And then I went back to his pad and went to sleep.
In terms of the vehicle showing you Exhibit 21, do you recognize that vehicle?
Yeah.
And whose vehicle is that?
That's the victim's vehicle that I was supposed to look for.
And did you actually see the vehicle somewhere on that night, on the January 22nd, when Baker was waiting in the back lot?
Yeah, it was parked like, it was parked in the parking lot right in front of the restaurant. And we walked out, got in the car, and drove off.
Do you remember what kind of restaurant it was, if you don't remember the name?
It might have been Chinese.
Are you guessing?
I am.
Okay. Did he smell like sharing food like he's on you?
Yeah, he got like a little bag and
You told us 2 days ago that the 2 knives that you purchased were at a Walmart. I just want to show you a map. I don't know if it'll mean anything to you. This is going to be Exhibit 22. On this map, you can see that there is a Walmart. This street right here, if you're familiar with the San Fernando Valley, is Fallbrook. And down here is Victory Boulevard. Do you know or do you recall if this is the Walmart that you and Baker went to on January 22nd in order to purchase knives? And again, you don't need to guess. If you don't know, you don't know. I just want to know if it was in the valley.
all I know is yes, I believe it was in the valley. Because I don't think we traveled very far from his house.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it was a Walmart.
And do you think it was this Walmart here that is in the vicinity of Fallbrook and Victory?
I don't want to guess and give you wrong information.
Okay. You guys buy anything in, either you or Baker, buy anything else in the Walmart other than the folding knife and the hunting knife?
I don't remember.
You said you stayed at Baker's apartment on Independence when you came in, right?
Yes.
Showing you Exhibit 23. Do you recognize this location?
Yes.
What is that?
That's the apartment where he was staying.
That's the family room area
Yes.
downstairs. Showing you Exhibit 24. Do you recognize this location?
Yes.
What is that?
That's the bedroom.
Who's bedroom?
Baker's bedroom.
Where were you sleeping when you came to stay?
I slept on one side of the bed,
And Baker slept with you?
on the other side, yeah.
You slept in Baker's bedroom.
Yes.
Showing you Exhibit 26. Thank you, sir. You recognize this?
That's the garage. I think that's the outside of the apartment.
Okay, so that's Baker's apartment complex on Independence?
Yes.
And have you stayed there on more than one occasion when you came into town, including this time when you came in to commit the murder?
No,
You've only stayed there one time?
that was my first time seeing that spot, actually.
Okay. Yesterday you told us that you lived with Baker at, yeah. And again, anytime I say yesterday, I mean 2 days ago.
I know that.
I know, but I'm glad that your lawyer is so great and that he corrected me. And you feel free, please, to correct me as well. And if there's, again, anything I say that you don't understand or that I ask in a weird way, just tell me like I don't understand the question and I'll react.
Okay.
Because I know we're moving a little quickly. I thought I had 24. Was the exterior? Okay. 26. So, I'm sorry. So Baker's apartment, that's the exterior of the apartment. I'm going to mark that as 25, okay?
Okay.
So we have 23 being the living room area, 24 being his bedroom, and you recognize his bedspread there, green with floral prints in 24?
Yes, sir.
And 25 being the exterior of the apartment complex.
Yes.
Showing you 26, yesterday you told us that at some point prior to moving to Alaska that you lived with Baker on Catherine
Yes.
in the valley.
Yes.
I want to show you this location, which is 5757 Catherine in Van Nuys. Is that the correct location?
Yes.
That is it. Okay. And who lived at Catherine with you?
Baker and his wife at the time.
His wife being,
Nikki.
do you know Nikki's last name?
Her real last name?
Yeah.
No.
Showing you Exhibit 27, do you recognize this person?
Yeah. Oh,
Who's that?
that is his ex-wife.
Nikki?
Nikki.
Have you ever heard the last name of Fairchild, or did you only know her by Nikki Baker?
That was the name that she went by, but in my mind, she was Nikki Baker.
When you say that name, you mean Fairchild?
Fairchild.
So you had heard that name before?
Yes. But I don't want to like say like, oh yeah, that's her last name. And I don't really know if that's really her last name. That's just the name I've known her to be called, Nikki Fairchild or Nikki Baker.
Got it. I want to show you another picture because you said you also lived on, I think you said Kelvin. Is that right? With Baker and Nikki?
Yes. Was it Kelvin or Winnetka? In Winnetka.
In Winnetka,
Yeah.
showing you Exhibit 28. You recognize this picture of this house.
Yes.
Is that a location that you also lived with Baker
Yes. That is the last location I lived with Baker
and Nikki?
and Nikki.
And what about Al?
Al had moved to Vegas already.
Did Al ever live at this location with you?
No.
Did Al ever live at the Catherine Avenue location with you?
Yes.
That's what's depicted in Exhibit 26.
Yes.
On the morning of January 23rd, you said when you woke up Baker was not home.
Yes.
Did Baker ever tell you that that morning he had gone to LA Fitness to meet up with Monica?
No.
Did Baker ever tell you that he had seen Monica that day?
I'm thinking.
Okay.
He didn't tell me that he met up with her, but he did come and said, here's the deal. She's gonna, here's the deal. And I'm telling you what I can recall.
Okay.
Here's the deal. She's gonna go home, you know, see what exactly he's doing, and then she's gonna leave. And when she leaves, she's gonna let me know. And he's home alone. And I just said, that's not in my head. And I watched him.
You still were aware that this hit was going to happen that day?
Yeah.
Did he ever tell you that he met up with her, if not at the LA Fitness, at the local Target?
No.
He's after Baker and left the house. You told us, I think, 2 days ago when you were here that when you woke up,
He wasn't there.
Baker was gone, and then came home at some point later in the afternoon.
Yes.
Okay. Do you know approximately what time?
No.
But for my own clarification, when you're asking about LA Fitness, was it that morning you're asking?
Yes.
Okay.
Baker say that day that he had seen mine at LA Fit or at a Target.
That's for me. Okay.
So he just told you that here's the deal, she's gonna go home, see what he's doing, and let him know when he's alone.
Yes.
Did he ever mention to you that there was a daughter that was in and out of the house that day? Or did you not know about the daughter?
I didn't really know. I didn't know about the daughter until until we got in the car and said, shit, his daughter. He said, shit.
But
And
you
then he
didn't,
told me on the phone. Told me on the phone after everything that went down. Said his daughter came home. And then I just remember this. He said, don't trip. I got you. And then hung up the phone.
so he just called to tell you that the daughter,
No, it's just to check it. It would be called to just check in on me. Just in general. And he told me that.
have you ever heard the name Jaybird? Baker ever used the name Jaybird?
No,
Okay.
not in my presence.
Okay, so you've never heard that name? Oh. You never heard the name Jaybird?
Not in my presence, no.
Well, if you've heard something, it would be in your presence, right? So
Yeah.
You're saying you've never heard that name?
No.
When Baker came home that morning or that afternoon or whatever it was during the 23rd, was he bleeding from anywhere at that time?
Not that I noticed.
So he didn't have his head wrapped or his hand wrapped up or complain of any bleeding or anything of that nature?
No.
And did he ever say to you, oh, I was at racquetball and Monica hit me with her racket, either in the head or the hand or anywhere else on his body?
He never said anything like that to me.
I'll show you another picture of this is actually 7 or 8. Showing you 29. Do you recognize what you see here?
Yes.
What area is that?
I don't know the area. I just recognize the picture.
What is it of?
It's a picture of a black Porsche.
And is that the victim's black Porsche?
Yes.
And would that be at the time when you and Baker are fleeing the scene after the murder?
Yes.
Showing you Exhibit 30, do you recognize this person here walking with a second wearing a black sweatsuit with white stripes, carrying some kind of a duffel or a bag?
It's hard to make out.
Do you know if Baker was wearing an outfit that looked like that at some point in time on January 23rd?
He might have.
So that doesn't look familiar to you?
I can't really make it out to say, give a definite answer, yes or no, but he might have had, you know, Adidas gear. He had a lot of like workout gear.
When you say gear, you mean clothing?
Yes.
You show your picture. By the way, you also told us 2 days ago that Birdsong, they told you to get your passport ready in case you had to go somewhere. Did you in fact get a passport
I did.
after this murder?
I was already in motion for me to get a passport, but yes.
Was it in motion because you knew that this in
No.
relation to this planning and crime?
No, I just wanted to have my passport. My mom told me I need to get a passport, and I had the paperwork. I just never submitted it
So you
until
got,
after.
showing you 31, tell me this one's a little bit closer up than 30. That appears to be pictures of Baker in that same outfit.
Yes.
And do you recall him wearing that outfit at all on January 23rd prior to changing into the hoodie
Yes.
or not?
Yes.
So that does look familiar to you?
Yes.
Yes, well, what is the dog? No. Now, do you know if Baker ever said anything about going near the crime scene location ahead of time, to block anything off,
No.
or anything of that nature?
No.
He never talked to you about that?
No, no.
Showing you 32.
Did you guys ever, I mean, not the word scout, but do any drive-by or run-by of that neighborhood before this was planned?
No.
Other than that one time that you've been there?
I think the one time I was there.
Okay. And do you know if Baker ever said, because clearly he's wearing an outfit that matches what he's wearing that day in the neighborhood, and that's not what he was wearing with you when you weren't there? Okay. So you don't know if you can go into that area that day, the day before, anything like that?
No.
Okay.
Do you know a guy named Kenneth Wax?
No.
Showing you Exhibit 32. Do you recognize that person at all?
No.
Never came up in any conversations regarding this conspiracy?
No.
Showing you Exhibit 33, Chris Crowther. Do you recognize this guy or his name?
No.
Never came up in the course of the conspiracy?
No.
How about the name Manassian? Did that ever come up in the course of the conversations regarding the conspiracy?
No.
Did either Birdsong or Baker ever call you by a nickname like you used Unk or Bird? Did they ever use any kind of nickname to refer to you?
Oh, when they're picking on me, you know, based on my appearance right now, they call me Wolverine.
Wolverine?
Yeah.
Anything else?
Jokingly, Chewbacca.
Chewbacca?
Yeah.
Anything else?
Nephew.
Nephew?
Yeah.
Anything else?
No.
Did you ever communicate with Al on a burner?
Yes.
Do you remember the phone number?
No.
Do you know if it started with an 818 number or prefix?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I would give you an 818-999-31. I'm sorry. 818. Familiar or not?
I don't remember looking at a whole lot of numbers at that time. That would probably be it.
What was, and let me get his regular number, which was a 70. Did you use a fake ID in order to obtain the burner phone that Baker told you and Al told you to get?
No.
I want to show you some records. Are you familiar with the name Ahmed, AHMED, Are you familiar with that name at all?
No.
Okay.
What?
His
No.
name is Ahmed Al-Shamisi. So you didn't use a fake name to get the burner. You just didn't have
Baker gave me a burner.
He gave you an actual phone.
He gave me an actual phone.
What kind of phone was
It
it?
was a burner phone. It
You
was
want one?
one of the convenience store phones. You kind of put the minutes on, you can use it. He set it up and gave it to me.
Like a prepaid?
Yes.
Was it an Apple? Was it an Android?
No, it was just a regular old little flip phone thing.
A flip phone. Can you do that after?
No, before.
When?
When I got there?
On the 22nd?
Yes.
And what was that phone supposed to be used for?
Communication, if we ever got separated.
And that was because you said Al told you to leave your phone in Alaska when you got to the airport and they picked you up. Baker asked you, had you left your phone at home?
Yes.
And you had told him yes.
Yes.
Okay, at some point though, there was a second burner phone, right?
Yeah, they gave me
Absolutely.
Well, and that's the one that Baker gave you. Did you use it during the time that you were here in Los Angeles?
Yeah.
Who would you
Just the
call?
Baker. I didn't call him. I just told him to text Baker.
You would text Baker on that phone?
Text or call Baker only.
On which of Baker's phones?
The burner phone. He had a burner phone too.
He had one burner phone?
Yeah.
And you made calls to him on his burner phone from that burner phone that Baker gave you?
Mm-hmm. And then when I got to Alaska, they gave me a couple of dollars to go get a cell phone. And then I went into a AT&T store, and I happened to know somebody there. I was like, "Give me a burner phone." Sure.
What did you do with that burner phone that Baker gave you?
He told me to give him everything.
You gave it back.
I gave everything back.
Go ahead.
Do you remember anything about, did he tell you what the phone number was? Or do you have the phone number pre-programmed?
I didn't. I don't remember those numbers.
Okay. So you just remember it was some kind of a flip phone
Yeah.
that Baker gave you on the 22nd to use while you were there in
Yeah.
LA for this murder.
Yes.
Now, when you told Detective Byers that they gave you some money and you went in Alaska to purchase another burner, when you say they, who gave you money to purchase the burner in Alaska?
Baker gave me money.
Before you left, or by removing it from his account via his account?
Before I left, he gave me a couple dollars.
What do you mean by a couple dollars?
Like $60 to $100. And then I went to an AT&T store.
Where?
In Anchorage.
Where?
In Anchorage, Alaska.
Uh-huh. Is it in a mall?
Oh, yes, it was like in a mall. And then I said, hey, I need a phone, a little burner phone. And she gave it to me.
She being the person at the
Yeah.
desk?
That's the desk.
Someone you didn't know?
Someone I actually knew who I was.
Oh, you knew her?
Yeah. She knew who I was via coaching and stuff, so she just gave it to me.
She gave it to you for free?
No, I paid for it.
Okay. How much did you pay for that burner?
I put minutes on it, so it's like 60. So if you get a phone, you put minutes on it. AT&T at the time had a deal like that.
Can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
So the burner phone that you provided me when you got here, you said that a couple days ago you said your phone had fallen out and you didn't bring your phone
I
here.
didn't bring my phone.
Okay, so did you let Chloe know that you arrived, or any family member, did you use that burner phone to communicate with anybody but Baker?
No,
So there was no checking in?
no. She told me not to. She said, don't you call anybody, don't you do anything. As far as everybody
Was
knows.
she the only one who knew that you were traveling here to Los Angeles?
Yeah.
And under what was her thought about what you were doing there?
She didn't really ask a whole lot of questions. Me and her, our relationship had just kind of started. And I was pretty guarded when it had started. So she was like, if she asked any questions like, for what's going on, like he told me to tell her that he was kind of under the weather. And I was going to help him handle some of his businesses, like his modeling contracts and stuff like that. She is now familiar that, I used to work in the health industry as far as like his assistants, other people's assistants and stuff like that, driving around. Nothing of big stuff, like none of that.
Okay, sorry.
Do you have the burner when you went to the house? Do you remember if you had the burner when you went to the cemetery house? You didn't take it?
Told me not to.
Oh, okay. Where did you leave it?
I left it at his house. And whatever he did with it, what he did with it.
Did you keep the burner with you when you went the night before to that place when we saw the parking lot? You had the burner then?
I think so, yeah.
You were with Baker the whole time. Is there any particular reason why you had it?
He said just in case we get separated. And I thought he would leave, So that's why I think
You thought who would leave?
I thought he would leave, like,
The strip mall?
yeah,
And leave you standing there?
yeah. At one point, yeah.
Okay, and I think we talked yesterday about the Baker's phone, the one that ends in 1093, 213-272-1093. That was the phone number that you had always communicated with Baker through.
I'm going to have to get, he checked in on me beforehand, yes.
And then at some point when he told you to download WhatsApp, you were communicating through burner phones, you on your end and he on his end.
Yes.
And his burner phone number was 747-888.
Yes. Yes.
And your burner phone was a 907 number that we talked about, I think, 2 days ago. That was 907.
That's my personal.
Okay. Your burner was then the 314.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. After the burner,
Yes.
295-9.
Yes. Is that what you have?
314 acreage. Is that an area code acreage? 314.
No. I don't know where that is.
Okay. But you recall your burner being a 314 area code?
Yes.
And you would have given that to Baker via your communications through the encrypted app, WhatsApp?
Yes.
What is Vesta?
I think it's like a prepaid card account. Anytime you need to put money on, a phone from prepaid, what you use, you gotta dial it in, add minutes to it.
And did you use any kind of Vesta card or account or Baker?
I think Baker did, and he told me to use it too. And so I just did.
What did he give you to be able to access that Vesta account?
Usually it's about it's not a lot. It's like $40 sometimes.
Okay, but what did Baker give you? Did he give you a card? Did he give you an access number?
He gave me an access number, I think.
Yeah.
I think.
On the
the phone that you got once you went back to Alaska, you purchased, and you made that, I don't remember. Where did you purchase that?
An AT&T store.
Where, like,
In the shopping mall.
shopping mall? Fairly close to where you were living,
Where I work.
where you work?
But I think I just went in there on a random day at the mall.
Have you not phoned anything from that person before?
No, I had put minutes on that 907 number.
Okay.
Because I had,
So when you purchased that burner, you have to get an ID, or did they just kind of?
No, it was kind of like, okay, approach.
So you were familiar with them?
Mhm.
So that's the relationship? So
Yeah,
no ID, background check, things like that, you just kind of going by it?
yeah.
So you were using, it looks like in 2016, all year long, you were using a Vesta prepaid AT&T card. What was that for?
Is that the 907 number?
It's a Vesta prepaid AT&T card.
Oh, I didn't really have like a, if I were, you said 2016?
The year before the murder.
That might have been for the burner phone he gave me.
When did he give you a burner phone?
Because,
Yeah, we need to talk.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a recess for lunch. I need to confer with counsel, so we're going to recess as far as you're concerned until 1:30. As always, the admonition applies not to discuss this case among yourselves with anyone else or form expressing opinions or the cause when I submit it to you. Have a good lunch. See you at 1:30. If I can have counsel remain, please.
Just so you know, guys, these are charges on your credit union account during the year 2016. Yeah. It's 143. It's 143. Sorry, 1143. I understand number on the front. It's 1143. We'll also record for a minute. Take that one. Okay, we're going back on the record. It's 12:10. Mr. Austin, did you have a chance to get something to drink and use the restroom and speak with your lawyer?
Yeah.
Okay. Before we broke off, we were talking about the night of January 22nd when you initially were supposed to commit the murder of Monica's husband, and you said you went to some kind of a strip mall. Showing you some, let's see, showing you Exhibit 34. Is that the strip mall that you went to?
Yes.
Showing you Exhibit 35. Is this a close-up of an area of the strip mall?
Yes.
With Fabio, did you see him at a particular location on that photograph?
No, I seen him come out of one of the restaurants and get back into his truck.
Do you know which restaurant it was?
It was like a faux Chinese restaurant.
Is that the place that we see in Exhibit 35?
Yes.
And where was he parked?
In the like, not right in front of the store, but across in the parking lot.
Okay, I want to show you, let's go back to, is it the same open?
This is show more of this side. You couldn't tell the parking on this side.
Okay.
I think it's a better view right now.
Showing you Exhibit 34, is there anywhere in that photograph that you can point to or put an arrow as to where his car was? The vehicle, I think, that we looked at before, which was Exhibit 21, which I will find for you.
Yeah. This truck was parked kind of catty from the restaurant. So maybe 23 steps
From the restaurant?
from the restaurant into the across from in the parking lot area.
I'm going to ask you, I'm going to give you a red pen if you want to write an arrow to show approximately where he was parked, this being Fabio, the victim. Make it big. You can like go over it several times, circle it, do whatever you need to do to make it obvious.
Right in this area.
Okay, you circled it around an area. So is that the area where he was parked?
Yeah. The truck was facing forward when you drove out.
Well, really, Exhibit 36, does this assist us in figuring out the location where you were standing?
Well, start with, you parked somewhere.
Or parked?
There's a back parking lot behind this area somewhere that I remember, and I was instructed to walk and see if I see him in between the pillars. And when I walked down, I saw the truck that I was instructed to look for, and I kind of walked back, and that's when I saw him, the victim, come out to his truck right in this area, and I just walked back into the parking lot, into the back area.
Do you want to just make a big circle around that area that you said where you saw?
I have a highlighter.
Yeah, green, highlighter. You want a green, highlight in green, that's perfect. The area where you walked, saw him, and then walked back.
Okay.
Have any idea approximately what time, like was it dark? Do you have any idea what time it was?
I don't remember what time it was.
You're gonna move around, you said they have all this stuff connected. You know, look at that.
You don't know what time it was, but you know it was dark.
I know it was dark and pretty late.
Does this, when you're looking at the photo 36, and it's a strip mall, it goes horizontally, does it go back further? Is that what you're saying?
I think there's something like a little park that goes
Like a
back
walkway
there.
that
Yeah.
continues going to the left and beyond the building that you see right?
Yeah.
Okay. So did you
Like, if you look, as if like delivery and stuff are coming back.
Oh, okay. So you parked in that parking lot in the back?
Yeah.
Okay.
And walk through, and that's it. That's the photo.
Okay.
Can you, I'm sorry, Counsel, can you, yeah, actually to, if you send it to your computer, will you get it right here?
We'll get it right here, we can get it right here.
Perfect.
Perfect.
And then you want me to print it?
Yes. And then, in the meantime, we'll come back to that. Okay. Did you have to, we might have gone over this, did you have to use any kind of ID or fake ID or anything to obtain a burner phone when you were in Alaska?
No.
Okay. Have you received any mail from Baker through any third parties or mail from other inmates or from anybody relating to this incident since they've been in custody?
No.
You also, I think we were going to talk about this Vesta prepaid AT&T account when we stopped.
Yeah. I believe that was from my personal phone. I didn't have a cell phone bill, so I could only afford minutes, and I pay like $60 here, $40 there, $80 there.
So was that what you were doing on your personal cell in 2016 prior to this murder?
Yes.
When you were actually at the scene of the murder in the Sementilli home on January 23rd, did Baker make any comments about anything in particular in the home?
No, he didn't call.
Okay.
He told me to go to the garage, and then that's where I waited.
Did he ever talk about wanting to find anything in the house?
No.
Did he ever talk about any kind of object in the home that he was interested in getting into or taking?
Yeah.
What?
Prior to, I remember him talking about.
Prior to what?
Prior to going to the house, I remember him saying something along the lines of, he either held the safe to the safe, or Monica's going to leave the safe unlocked for him to just go in it. I don't know which one.
How do you know that?
That's what I overheard him saying to me.
To who? To
To me.
you or to Monica?
To me.
Do you know where the safe was?
I never seen, like I said prior, I'd never seen the house, other than that area in the patio.
Did he ever say to you where the safe was?
No. Not that I could recall.
Do you hear about what was in the safe?
I misspoke prior, something jogged my memory with the questions. I repeated what I was told to say.
What does that mean?
When you asked me about the gold coins, I was told to repeat it, say you got it from me.
By who?
Mr. Baker.
So Baker told you to say that you got the coins from Baker.
Yeah.
But you did get them from Baker.
But I think he got them from the safe.
Okay. Why do you think that?
Because he had mentioned that Monica said he has all kinds of stuff that he collects.
And how do you know that?
That's what he told me.
Baker said
Baker
what?
told me that Monica said he has all kinds of, like I said, I think they had been talking a lot, so I was on a need to know. So when he
Why
said
do you
that
think
to
they
me,
were talking a lot? Sorry to keep interrupting, but I would just want to make sure we're clear about why.
I believe they were in like somewhat of a relationship.
And why do you think that?
Just how everything went down, like what he said to me, how he said it. He didn't really move until he got information from her.
You mean the days on the 22nd and the 23rd?
Yeah.
How do you know he was getting information from Monica on the 22nd and the 23rd?
Because when he was, this is my recollection, when he responded via text, then he'd asked me to go with him somewhere.
Okay.
And then when I went with him somewhere, like the night before, I said, no, I can't work.
You mean the 22nd?
The 22nd. I believe he texted her and said it didn't work. And we went back to his pad and just crashed.
Did he ever mention swinging or anything like that?
Yeah.
What did he say about swinging?
I was 19 years old. I was intrigued by that.
No, I mean in terms of Monica.
No.
Did he ever mention anything about another website or way to communicate through a website referred to as Lifestyle Lounge?
No.
Have you ever heard of that?
No, I have not.
Can you pull that back up? Oh, when you went to the Sementilli home the first time with Baker, was that sometime in 2016?
Yes.
And did Baker tell you what the purpose was of having you go to that home? That's the night you said she brought pizza from Domino's and you slept on the couch.
Yeah.
Did he tell you why?
He didn't tell me why, but when we left, he said, remember that layout.
Did you walk around the house?
No. I walked. I can't think of it.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
After I had a couple of slices, they showed me the patio and the TV.
Who showed you the patio?
Monica.
Uh-huh.
said, come on out here. I was like, okay. I just followed. I was like, oh, this is dope. I made this, a comment as I would if I saw something really nice. I was like, take it.
You noticed that it was like it had a TV, a fire pit, there was a pool out there, there was an overhang,
I noticed, I was like, oh, this is cool. And they started talking about stuff. They went back, Monica and Baker started talking about some things, and I watched TV, outside. And then I went inside.
Did you watch TV on the inside of the family room or
Inside.
outside?
Well, outside, and then I went inside.
So you watched TV both outside and in?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they went off to do their thing.
What does that mean?
I think they went to have relations.
You need to have sex?
Yes.
Where?
Wherever they walked to, I didn't pay no attention. When they walked and went.
Where's the bedrooms?
Downstairs, upstairs?
I think they were downstairs.
Did either of them say anything to you, like, we'll be back, or?
Baker said, we'll be back.
And you did what? You just kept watching TV?
Yeah, watched TV until I fell asleep.
Why do you think she shared through the patio? Was there anything related to, like, what was going to happen? Was it just like a look at the patio? Like,
Hey, look at my house.
okay.
That's how I proceeded. Look at my house.
Yeah, there was no talk about, because obviously it ended up happening on the patio.
Did Monica ever mention where Fabio was, or whether Fabio was out of town at that time, or did Baker ever say anything about where Fabio was at that time?
No.
Did Baker ever tell you that Fabio traveled a lot, or did Monica ever mention that Fabio traveled a lot?
Baker mentioned it.
Did Baker ever mention anything to you about any kind of... Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Take a moment to speak with you, Laura.
No, I didn't.
Now that you mention it, I think that's why they wanted me to come in January.
Why?
Because it's not understanding that I think he was supposed to leave somewhere for a while. But that's my understanding.
You know, why would it matter if he was leaving because you needed him there? Like,
They didn't mention that to me. They didn't mention any of that to me. But that's just the feeling I get.
If they wanted you to do something before you had the chance to go?
Yes.
okay.
I don't know if he really had to leave or not.
Did Baker or Monica ever mention anything to you, or did you ever hear anything about any kind of doctor appointment that Fabio was supposed to have on the 23rd?
No.
I want to show you Exhibit 37, which looks like an aerial view of that shopping center that we were talking about from the 22nd.
Okay.
Do you recognize what you're looking at there?
Yes.
Can you, I don't know where my pen went. With the X, can you put the area maybe where you can orient yourself, where Baker was touched? Maybe you can put a B? Or is this pen better, a regular pen?
Yes.
Okay.
Might be better a blue felt.
Maybe like around. Maybe like around this area. I think that's a dumpster. So somewhere.
Can you circle it? Because it's so hard to see where.
That's the restaurant.
How about, where was Fabio Park? Can you circle that?
This area here.
Okay. So basically right in front of the shopping center. And where, can you put an X where Baker would be behind? Or the approximate area where you think he was?
Maybe like by like a wall. There's a wall here.
Okay, you're pointing to an area behind the shopping center where it looks like there's some dirt and maybe some trees or shrubs. Is that correct?
Yes.
Now you're taking the green pen and you're making a line. What is this line that you've made that comes from the back parking lot area through
I
some
believe
sort of
this is-
breezeway along the front of the shopping center? What is that?
this is just where I walked and
That's
where I
your
was
path.
supposed to, like, just see if he was there.
Got it. That's your path.
And then I walked back.
Okay. And Baker,
believe that's it.
was Baker still waiting where you've made like some kind of a star or an X in the back behind the lot?
Yeah.
Behind the shopping center?
He's parked somewhere. I can't give you specifically where he's parked, but
Okay.
he was parked back here somewhere.
All right, thank you. When you were given gold coins from Baker, when did that take place? Was that actually at the house? Was it in the car? Was it later at his apartment?
It was in the car just before he dropped me off at the shuttle, and then he told me Monica wanted me dead. Here, take these.
He said, okay, so when Baker dropped you at the shuttle, he said what?
I said Monica wanted him dead. Here, take these. Don't worry about anything. Let me know when you land.
And when you said take these, he handed you what?
A handful of gold coins.
And did he tell you what he believed the value was?
He told me this is value because these might be worth like $10,000.
That's what Baker said?
Is it in a roll? Because one time you said something about a roll.
Yeah, it was like a little. It wasn't. I didn't stretch my finger.
Okay.
Long. It wasn't like it was like a little. It was heavy.
Like how they bind up like coins when you take it to the bank or
Yeah.
something, like that kind of roll?
Mm-mm.
No.
It was like a plastic. Well, so yeah, like you take it to the bank.
Okay. Like they're stacked. And then
They're
it's
stacked.
bound.
Okay.
Was it opened at all? Or was it just still tightly?
I don't know.
Approximately how many coins did he give you?
I want to say about 10.
Yeah?
When he said that, when he made that comment to me,
Which one?
she wanted him dead. Like I think he saw how I just uncomfortable and like horrible I was feeling. Like I think it was all over my face and my body. Like I was quaking.
So you think that's why Baker said she wanted him dead, to try to make you feel better?
I don't know why he's going to make me feel anything, but I didn't feel better.
You knew he was dead when you left, right? I mean, he wasn't. You stabbed him in the neck. Baker stabbed him in the neck, right? He
Yeah,
stabbed him
I didn't
in
look
the
back.
leg.
I didn't look back, but yeah,
You believed he was dead when you
I
left that
believe
house.
he was dead when I left.
There's a recording I want to play for you, and I think the date on this is what, Corey? Is this from July of 2019?
Yes, July, exact date. July 22nd, 2019, at 8:40 p.m.
Hey, Chris, Al here. Missed your call. Come time, need you to give me a call when you get a chance. Really got to talk to you about some stuff that's really urgent. Take care of everything.
So in that voice message, do you recognize who that was?
Yeah, that was Birdsong.
Okay. So he called you and he said that he called you Buddy. He said he needed you to call him, that it was very urgent, and that he needed to get some information to you. Do you remember what that was regarding? July 22nd, 2019.
Did you tell her that? Did you tell her? I might have.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can express that.
I don't know when Mr. Baker took the deal. And I don't really remember exactly what he said when
Who said?
what Birdsong said when I called him back.
Okay. So you don't remember what the urgency was?
But what I'm thinking is he wanted to express that. I don't know when Baker pled guilty.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm thinking pertaining to that.
That's just your guess, though, on your part?
That's just my guess, because I don't really remember that conversation
Because, as you expressed to me, once Baker had pled, Birdsong reached out to you to tell you that he pled.
Yeah.
And this was around the same time when Birdsong expressed, quote, that bitch is now trying to act like she didn't know. Is that correct?
Yeah. And she knew, which led me at some point, again, I try not to think about it, but at some point it led me to believe that they had talked in the past.
Who's they?
Birdsong, Baker, Monica, all at once.
Okay. Did you ever directly talk with Birdsong about his frustration with Monica acting like she wasn't involved?
Like we're talking?
Yeah.
No.
Nothing about so just that expression on the phone about it, and then but you never talked, like you never.
When he started telling me about it, he's like, that bitch knew, but everything's fine. Don't worry about nothing. And he just continued to coach me like, don't worry about anything. And he would constantly check in on me, text me, Merry Christmas, Happy Thanksgiving, eat good, you doing all right.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about, the girls.
What girl? Do you think that you were still talking to Monica?
I don't know. I didn't really.
I
didn't think about it.
Did Al tell you that he knew Monica, that he had met Monica?
Yeah, he told me I met her.
When did he tell you he met her?
When we was in Vegas.
You mean in July of 2016?
Yeah.
How many times in July,
He didn't say. They didn't say when they, how often they hang out and talk.
Well, when I show you Exhibit 19, this is a photograph of Monica. Looks like she's wearing a bathing suit top. Al is probably, I can't see if he's wearing shorts, but no top, and Baker wearing a T-shirt.
Yeah, that's them.
That's the three of them together, right?
That's the three of them together. But I don't know how long they had been in conversation, cahoots, and talking and stuff like that.
Did you ever, when you were with Al, did he ever get any calls that you believed were from Monica at the time, or texting with Monica at the time? Anything between the two of them communicating that you know of?
They wouldn't have told me if they were.
Okay.
No.
Do you know a guy named Roger Brown? I think we talked.
No, I don't know Roger Brown.
Have you ever heard of either Al or Baker mentioning somebody by the name of B?
Yeah.
And what, if anything, did they say about B?
Nothing other than, good dude. If I need anything, he got me. I said, okay.
But you don't know who he is to know?
No. B, actually, I probably would have met him once or twice when I lived in LA with Baker. And,
Do you know what he looks like?
short?
Do you know where he lives?
Nope.
Do you know if he was someone that worked with Baker or in clubs or anything like that? Like, do you remember anything about this B guy?
Other than when Baker needed something, he got it. A club spot, a VIP spot, parking spot.
But you're just guessing, right? Because you're saying probably. Because you don't even
I don't really have any whole relationship with this person at all.
speak. Did you come more than one time to LA to go to Vegas with Baker in 2016, or only that one time?
I think it was only that one time.
Okay. Did Baker ever tell you where you first met Monica?
No.
The date that you and Rob went to Monica's to meet Monica, and she was there alone, and you had the pizza, and they went into another room where they probably had sex. How did you guys get there?
We drove.
What did you drive?
Hot. Probably the Mustang.
Do you remember where you parked?
On the side of the street in front of the house.
Did she say anything about where her husband was, or where her daughters were, or anybody else?
I actually didn't know she had children until.
Okay. And you said you were in the kitchen eating pizza, but you never saw
If you remember,
screen of the surveillance cameras on the counter? Never saw that.
Mm-hmm.
If I were to show you, you were saying? You were about to say.
The kitchen and the living room area. I remember walking in. I remember the pizza being on the thing.
On the counter?
On the counter. And then, we went outside. And then came back inside. We just came back inside. And then I went and watched TV. They could like, you good there? I mean, I'm cool, whatever. Mm-hmm.
So, we know when was the very first date, if you can give me month or year, when was the first date that the conspiracy to kill Fabio came up?
I don't remember.
Was it was it before you went to Vegas in 2016? Before July of 2016?
No.
So you think July 2016 was the first time when you were in Vegas, when you came into LA and then you and Baker drove?
Yeah.
And have you thought at all about what we discussed a couple days ago in terms of whether or not you did or did not meet Monica when you and Baker went in and stayed with Al and went to the Aria in July of 2016?
I have actually been thinking about that since Heather asked me, and I've been trying to get a visual, but outside of the fraternity that I don't really remember that Aria Hotel, but like as I stated, I might have, and I just don't remember seeing her.
Mm-hmm. So you don't remember if you met her or not?
I don't remember if I met her or not, but I might have.
Mm-hmm. If you did, it would not have been in Birdsong's house, though, right?
No.
If you did meet her, it would have been outside a hotel or somewhere.
A lot of distractions and stuff. Like I was legit like.
But you do remember going to the Aria because we talked about it.
I do remember going. He always took me to like places.
Who is he?
Baker always took me places, so it wasn't uncommon for me to like hit a hotel and hit another hotel, and and then like my memory. Like as we speak, I'm trying to think and stuff like sometimes I'm like not even like that image left me as I'm trying to continue.
Okay. Showing you 38, do you recognize this?
Yeah.
And what is that?
The picture of the kitchen.
And if I show you what we looked at the other day, which was Exhibit 14, is that, again, another picture of Monica's kitchen from a different vantage point?
Yes.
And would this be this blue with the white top, would that be the island area where you guys had pizza?
Yes.
And then looking at the background in 38, that being past this dining table, that being the family room area that we talked about the other day?
Yes. I don't remember that table being
there. The dining room
I
table?
don't remember that being there, but
Okay.
it might have been.
Showing you 39, another area of the kitchen. Do you recognize the screen that you see there? Yes?
Yes.
Did you pay any mind or any attention to that at the time?
No.
Not when you were there for the first time and not when you were there to kill Fabio on the 23rd?
Not even a little bit.
Did you go when you were in Vegas? It was Baker staying with Al in 2016. Did you guys go to any restaurants?
We might have.
Does the name Javier's ring a bell?
No.
Okay. When you would go to restaurants with Baker or with Al, would you go to nice places or more like fast food type places?
El Pollo Loco, a nice Chinese spot, sometimes some sushi. Sometimes we just cook at the house.
Had you ever used an encrypted app before this murder?
No.
Any time in your life had you ever thought to use an encrypted app until it was brought up to you by Baker?
No.
Was there, you told us about there being a plan to kill Baker January 22nd that you aborted, and then you also said that meaning Baker and I wanted you to come down sometime earlier in 2017 to commit the murder. Is there ever any other day that you can recall where there was a plan to get Fabio or to kill Fabio, other than what we've discussed?
No.
Any other aborted plans?
No.
Was there ever a plan to kill him while you were in Vegas in 2016?
No.
Did Baker or Birdsong ever tell you that Birdsong gave a Samsung to Baker to use? Were you aware of that?
No.
When you were with Baker in, let's say, July of 2016, do you recall how many phones he had?
It was his job. 2, maybe 3.
So you're saying Baker usually had
Not
2
Baker.
phones?
You said who?
Baker.
Baker usually had 2 phones.
As long as you've known him?
Yeah.
And why 2?
He always told me one for business, one for personal.
And then on top of that, after the murder, you also knew that he got a 3rd phone, that was the burner phone, to communicate with you, correct?
Yes.
Do you know anybody by the name of Kenneth Walton?
Yes.
Who's Kenneth Walton?
Buddy of mine, I had my roommate at one point. We lived together for a while.
Yeah.
On Alaska.
The day before you fly out to LAX to help Baker commit the murder of Fabio, you made multiple calls to this person on January 21st. In fact, it looks like he was the last person you called before you flew into LA. And then you contacted him again when you returned home to Alaska on the 24th.
Music stuff. He's a producer.
Okay.
And then he, I believe at that time, he had lost his apartment and we were living together again.
Is he somebody that you would, or that you did confide in about this murder, that would corroborate anything about your, no?
No. I think it's coming back. At that time, he had got a DUI. He needed an apartment.
Don't care about any of that.
Okay,
My
so-
question is,
No, I did not.
does he in any way know anything about this murder?
No.
Did you ever ask Baker why he or Monica wanted Fabio, Monica's husband, dead?
I never asked.
Because why? You didn't want to know?
Baker told me the less I know, the better.
And so you didn't ask questions as to why they wanted to kill, or why Monica wanted her husband dead?
No, when he volunteered information that he was I'm telling you what I was told.
Mm-hmm.
He's abusive, she doesn't like him, she wants him gone. And all I said was, oh.
And when, with respect to all those excuses, did the mention of insurance money come up?
Before I landed.
So, was it before you
December.
December of 20?
I believe it was in December.
Baker mentioned insurance money?
She's gonna get some money.
Was
And again,
that,
I'm saying what I remember via verbiage.
was there any conversation about insurance money in Vegas 2016?
Not that I could recall.
In December, that conversation about the insurance money, was that one of the three-way calls with Birdsong?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Did Birdsong add anything that you remember during that conversation now that it's coming back about, any more information that Birdsong partook in about the plan?
Not that they would have told me.
Well, you're on a three-way. I mean, it's two you while you're on the three-way.
Well, it means I gotta figure out where I was standing.
And just any of those phone contacts you're having with them are all from your actual phone?
I think so.
Because at that time you didn't have
Yeah,
an automated burner and you had it returned to get
They
the other
would call me.
Okay. But you never got.
On your Alaska,
My personal.
So would they already be on together and you'd be the third
Yeah.
person that was added?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you can think back, if you can't remember, you can't remember, but just kind of what each person was saying in the December, this is right before you're planning to come then. Like what is Birdsong talking about? What is Baker talking about?
Just how to do it. And you gotta be quick. You have to.
And who is that saying that part?
I want to say it's Birdsong saying it, but Baker's like, he's kind of a big dude.
Who said that?
Baker did.
You mean the victim?
Yes.
And Birdsong said you've got to be quick.
If I can recall, yeah. Yeah. You gotta be quick, and then you gotta get him out of there.
So
I think at this point, Birdsong's talking to Baker about getting me out of LA. So if you do it, you gotta get it quick, and you gotta get him quick, and you gotta get him out of there. So we'll just schedule you like a 3-day weekend, and let him talk. I'll just listen.
But you never intervened and said, "Hey, I ain't doing any of this." Like you were. No one threatened you, right?
No, it wasn't a threat. It was more like, don't worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
We got this under control.
But you were used to going along with whatever Baker wanted.
Yes,
I mean, you had been working for him since you were a kid.
pretty much. I mean, when he come to visit, he'd come visit my dad, and he'd ask me to do something for him real quick, and Southern hospitality. Yeah, you just.
Did you ever say no to Baker? Other than the night of the 2020
No, not.
second, when you said he could do it?
He never really asked me to do anything like that before.
But on anything, when you had worked for Baker for all this time in his business with the adult film business, with all these women and all this stuff, you had never told Baker no.
No.
Everything he asked you to do, you did.
Yes.
So Baker knew that you would be
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take our adjournment this time until, as far as you are concerned, April 1st. Let me tell you what's happening and what I